1, 2, 3, 4, VCR, party live, VCR, party live, VCR, party live, VCR, party live. At the end of the 20th century, a scientist saw a killer comet on its way, who left instructions for its destruction over a second-hand VHS tape, but then was hit by a Winnebago. So his assistants, Nick and Joe, must search every corner of his trove for the cassette that is our only hope. But in the meantime, we'll play the greatest clips they find. VCR, party live, VCR, party live, VCR, party live, VCR, party live. Screw you, Melinda!
Hello, Melindas! All right, punk rock episode. I'm Joe, this is Nick. VCR party.
Hi,
we watch
everybody.
videos, we have VHS tapes, we watch them. That's what we do. Welcome to the punk rock episode, right?
Yeah, we're doing a punk rock episode
Yeah.
because we had two guests in town over the weekend. You were out of town, but Zack Carlson, who we know from, he does Fantastic Fest, the genre film festival in Austin, and he also co-wrote the book on punk rock depictions in movies. So we're not talking about actual punk rock, we're talking about how it was portrayed in movies and in like an episode of Webster.
Very specific,
Yes.
and the book is like 500 pages.
It's huge, and it goes for $500. It's called...
It goes for $500?
Yeah, because it's out of print. They're making a new edition with 700 new entries that they found of punk rock depictions. It's very exhaustive. It's called Destroy All Movies, and the second edition's coming out. But also, the reason he was in town is because one of his childhood idols, Sam McPheeters from the band Born Against, a legit punk band in the late 80s, early 90s, who also is a writer for Vice, really funny dude, and has a new book out called Mutations. And you're going to get a chance to win that book if you're watching after we see their segment, because I pre-taped a thing with them.
What's the book about? Just like all punk rocks? Just about
it's
his
stories,
memoir? Or
but it's funny, and he's written a number of books. So it just came out, and we'll have a copy to give away. And so
look at
stay
people
tuned.
are on their promotional tours coming on VCR
I know,
party.
I know.
Promoting their books.
Famous people, and
I think we've arrived, right?
Yeah, and they're not doing like a TED Talk about punk rock depictions in movies. They're only doing it here on VCR Party.
Exactly.
So,
do I look pretty punk? Does my hair? How would you describe my hair?
punk rock.
Yeah?
Yeah. Or a little bit like Crybaby too.
Yeah, I mean, it looked cooler maybe 10 minutes ago. But
I'm so punk rock that I'm not wearing sleeves, and I have a shirt that has E.T. on it. And
I'm pretty sure that's Elf, buddy.
oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
And by not wearing a hat, I don't care whose toes I step on.
Yeah.
So
and also
that's
it's
my
salmon colored too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, punk rock stuff.
Yeah.
George
You know
is-
what you should do? You should tear off your shirt. Just like tear it off, punk rock
All
style.
right, yeah, cool. That'd
See,
be anti-authoritarian.
Yeah,
all right.
tear off your shirt and just do the rest of the show without your shirt
All
on.
right, we'll see how the night goes. George is punk rock today too. George, look it. He
has us both beat.
He's got his fingerless Subway glove on.
He's
and
got his chip clip on his ear. You can't smile. Wait. You can smile if you're punk rock, right?
Yeah, it's more about sneering. But
Okay, I get confused
Yeah.
with goth sometimes.
Is it a chip clip on your ear?
Yeah.
Does it hurt?
You're not my dad.
Oh no! Look at his attitude. I don't like this new George.
He's got a punk rock attitude. Let's start off with a Fun Footage Festival classic.
Okay,
How
we
about
always
that?
do that.
All right, so Heavy Metal Parking Lot. We toured. I mean, it's not really a Fun Footage Festival classic. I mean, it's more.
It wasn't our.
It was like in Volume 6. We played the whole thing
Yeah.
on the 25th anniversary or something.
Should we start with the intro? Is punk rock is the more punk rock thing not to play the intro?
I think the more punk rock thing is not to talk about it so much. It's just like to do it. Because you don't analyze things when you do punk rock.
Okay, so.
You already ruined it.
So I should just play it without
just
you
play
guys.
it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
without me
exactly.
even bringing it up.
Yeah.
It's good.
It'll give me some time to.
You caught me with my
refaux
pants down, but no one sells carpet or
faux
waterbeds
here.
for less.
Now it looks good.
All right.
Is that better? Okay.
A lot better.
All right. So Heavy Metal Parking Lot. Our buddy Jeff Krulik made this in 1980 something. What do you remember a year?
Oh yeah, was it 86? I think.
Something.
Yeah.
Mid 80s or so. He went to a parking lot in, and this is heavy metal. This isn't punk
Yes.
rock, but this is the one part of the video where he went out with his camcorder that he got from his public access station, and he recorded heavy metal dudes getting excited about seeing Judas Priest.
Yeah.
And there's one guy who hated Madonna and he hated punk rock.
Yeah.
So that's
Two arch enemies of heavy metal.
Yep, that's the relevance to this clip here.
Okay.
So here is Zebra Man discussing
Oh yeah, it's him.
his opinions.
Yeah. Classic.
What's your philosophy on life?
No, it's me.
Oh.
It sucks shit. Heavy metal rules. Heavy metal rules. All that punk shit sucks. It doesn't belong in this world. It belongs on fucking Mars, man. What the hell is punk shit? And Madonna can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. She's a dick. Seriously, heavy metal definitely rules. Twisted Sister, Judas Priest, Dawkins, Ozzy, Scorpions, they all rule. Yeah, she's tripping Jack Daniels. It all rules. All that shit rules. This punk shit, circle of shit, and the dicks and all, that can go to hell. I don't care. You know, I don't really give a shit about that kind of punk fuck.
Wow, the
Yes.
gauntlet has been thrown for this episode.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about shit about that punk fuck.
And I like how he hits his tooth with the microphone, and like you would, if you hit your elbow, you'd hold it. He holds his tooth as
You
if
see
that
it
was-
hit it, and then he tries to ignore it, but I don't think he
Yeah.
can because it hurts too bad.
He hates Madonna and Punk. All right. Well, I was thinking about some of the earliest depictions I remember seeing of punks on TV and movies. I'm sure there wasn't a Punk Alf episode, but I'm sure there was like a Mr. Belvedere where Chip came back punk or something.
Dabbling in punk.
Yeah. But the one I really remember was Police Academy 2 with Zed. This is before he and Sweet Chuck were teamed together, of course.
Oh, you're saying
in-
seriously?
in
Of course,
Police
this is
Academy
before
3.
he and Sweet Chuck became partners. Yeah.
But in Police Academy 2, Back in Training, I mean, Bobcat Goldthwait played the leader of a punk gang that hung out in the former zoo. And the scene I remember in particular was when they go into a grocery store. Do you remember it at all?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I was more of a Police Academy 3 kind of guy.
Right.
And our buddy Tom, who we all went to middle school with together, he lived on a farm. And I remember going over to his house, and I had HBO, so I would record Police Academy 2, Police Academy 3, never Police Academy 1, because I think that was rated R, and I don't think I was allowed to watch it. 2, 3, 4, I recorded all those, and I'd bring them over to Tom's house, and he had this massive farm that we could have just ran into the forest. We could have jumped on motorcycles.
Built something.
We sat in his living room and watched Police Academy 3 over and over and over, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And his mom owned a video store, so got new movies in. We sat in this house on beautiful summer days out in this idyllic farm.
Yeah.
And we sat inside. We watched Police Academy.
Oh,
3.
we watched worse things than that too. This is some of the better time we spent on that farm. So here's the grocery store scene of the punk gang from Police Academy 2. Purple hair, pushing people around.
Well, punk gangs really a thing.
In movies they were.
Attention! I need beer up here! Now! Okay, look for specials now! Come on, shop, everybody! Safety first!
What snacks were we having?
The first time I tried Cool Ranch Doritos was at Tom
Oh yeah,
Jacobson's
might have been
place.
watching
Yeah.
this very scene.
It was a very good time.
Come on.
Oh, I love that.
What are you, a nut? I'm a vegetarian!
There's Sweet Chuck.
Is this how Sweet Chuck and Zed met?
Yeah. Oh, poor Sweet Chuck.
God, come on, man, after age!
That's a punk rock thing to do. Supermarket sweep. Sweet Chuck was in the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Thank you very much. I found a lot of really, really nice bargains here.
Excuse me, sir, you forgot your stamp.
Oh, that was it. That joke just aged really well.
Yeah, it
didn't
did. The stamps.
The stamps
oh, yeah.
that you get while
Yeah.
shopping at grocery stores. Did
Oh.
you ever see Police Academy 2
I haven't
growing
seen
up?
any Police Academy movie.
Really?
Oh, really?
Wow, that might be the
Oh.
weirdest thing about you. From a long list. Wow. Yeah, that was just HBO on every day.
I was thinking about, we had a punk band in college.
Mm-hmm.
We called ourselves the Beatles. We spelled it Beatles.
Yeah.
We changed it up,
Right.
not like the traditional insect. And
Right.
we made up songs as we went along. It was all 3-chord punk songs.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
how
we-
did you spell it?
Beatles.
Like trying to keep the beat.
That's how they spell it.
Who?
The Beatles.
Huh?
The insect?
Okay.
You mean our college band?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really. I listened to some like skate punk when I was going through a skateboarding phase, like I don't know, Suicidal Tendencies and
Yeah,
Dead Kennedys
sure.
and stuff.
I was going
but-
to say with our band though, we didn't really know. You and I were the lead singers,
Yeah.
and then we had a band behind us that would play regular songs. We would
Yeah.
improvise the song, but I think that it was more the attitude of punk of like showing up to a show and not caring,
Right.
and being stupid and wearing meat like around. At least I wore meat
Yeah.
around on a necklace, like a big hunk of meat. It reminded me of that watching
Yeah.
the Zed thing. And then I remember one time we wore adult diapers, or at least I wore adult
Yeah.
diapers, and I stuffed hot dogs down my adult diapers, and I chucked them at the audience during the show. And Justin Vernon from Bon Iver had opened for us that night.
Right.
He opened for us
Yeah.
that night.
We were the bigger draw.
We were, well, I don't think that we were the headliner, but
No,
we
no,
were
but
we
there was
were
a-
ahead of Bon
Yes.
Iver, and grabbed a handful of hot dogs and threw it out. And I remember seeing Justin Vernon ducking out of the
Right.
way of a hot dog.
And that's what inspired For Emma forever ago.
Yeah. And I asked him about it recently, and he has no recollection of it at all. You'd think that if like you're getting hot dogs chucked at you,
You would think.
maybe
yeah.
it was a dream I had. I don't know.
We also played a scary biker bar
Yeah.
one time, and they asked us to leave after 2 songs.
Yes,
I remember that.
And,
That's
and
a
I
pretty
remember
punk rock thing.
genuinely fearing for my life. But then they gave
Yeah.
us $200, and we were like, "Holy shit!
Oh,
we got
yeah.
$200."
You know how
Yeah.
many diaper hot dogs you can buy with $200?
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh, and I remember we got like kind of a nice hotel, like probably like a Super 8 or something.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Look at this!" And there's like 7 dudes crammed in there.
Yeah. That was our brief dabbling with
That
punk.
was our punk rock
But
phase.
the guys who are going to be out here in a second are the real deal. They are. Zack is somebody who knows so much about it. It's kind of, you kind of have to like reel him back a little bit and be like, okay, wait, but nobody's seen.
I haven't seen this interview.
Nobody's
so-
seen the scene yet, so let's just hold. So but. He has a ton of knowledge, and Sam has a lot of info too about the scene in that time. So we're gonna throw to the interview, and we'll come back, and you get a chance to win Sam's book. We'll throw it to Zack.
We'll be
and Sam.
right back right after that.
Zack and Sam, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We're talking all about depictions of punk on TV and film today, and you guys are somewhat experts in the field, right?
We're the experts.
The experts
In every
field.
Okay, well, come on back. I wanted to go sort of chronologically from what we could find, and correct me if I'm wrong, fill in gaps here if you can, but I just want to get your takes on the depictions of punk on screen here. The first one that we found was, George actually found this clip of a show I hadn't even heard of called CPO Sharky. You're familiar with CPO Sharky, the Don Rickles show?
I'm obsessed with Don Rickles
Yeah.
in every way.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't know this particular sitcom, but this was from 1978. And in the show, he's a Navy officer. And George, what's the plot of this episode?
Let's see. Several of his recruits are beat up at a punk rock club.
Right.
And he goes to visit the club, and a runaway who is there, a young woman, takes a liking to him, and he attempts to get her to reunite with her mother.
Okay.
But this is important because it's one of the first fictional appearances of punk on mainstream TV.
Right, but it's always runaways, right? There's usually a runaway involved with they're getting seduced by the punk culture.
That happened on Who's the Boss too. Same storyline.
Oh, okay. Well, let's watch the clip from CPO Sharky with Don Rickles and see what the punks look like from 1978.
And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the band.
Okay. Here we go.
Now, where were you guys anyway?
It's a place called The Pits. It's a punk rock club.
What?
The Pits, a place where they play punk rock music. It's a new thing in music. And you ever hear of groups like The Fingers, The Veins, The Skulls?
What do they do? Play background music during a heart transplant? What is this about this punk rock?
He's a tall, nerdy
Yeah,
guy.
you in punk rock?
And my
No, you see, my guys went into a place called The
became
Pits,
single,
and
became
I
a
was wondering what
prostitute,
it's
and
about.
ended up in a relationship
Well,
with the tall guy.
With the tall guy from CPO Sharky.
Yeah.
This is why you won't be hearing so much from me, because I can't compete unless I make things up, and then I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
I read where some of the girls hang things like razor blades from their earrings.
It's true.
No kidding. Hey, a guy could whisper in a broad's ear and wind up with a nose job. That sounds wild.
I guess they are.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Dickies.
Yes, but not as the Dickies, right? What are they called in this?
I think they don't name them.
I don't think so.
And what year is this? 80s?
78.
78. Okay, so there's no way you could say the word Dickies on TV.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah.
I guess the Tom Brady guys are in this thing.
Oh man, I can do that dance. I used to do that around the house killing cockroaches.
Yeah, who is that guy? I know that face.
See all the writing on the walls? I put it there. I am vice president in charge of graffiti.
This guy looks great.
Oh, that hair.
Still hanging around my lead.
Slash, will you leave them alone? They are just here
Slash.
to enjoy themselves.
Say man, your mascara is running.
On your feet, Popeye.
Bill Hader's dad.
Popeye
There's
was...
the big guy.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
the big guy.
No fighting.
Yes.
Didn't I warn you about messing around with other dudes?
Look, I have had it with you pushing me around. Now go pluck your eyebrows. I'm going home with him.
Oh, no.
Hey, punks!
Oh,
Come on.
That's how you refer to your peers in this. Hey, punks, come here.
Yeah.
What's a decent
To
kid
this
like
day.
you hanging around a weirdo joint like that?
Well, because I'm into punk, conceptual art.
Pardon me?
You know, pogo.
Pardon me?
New wave.
Pardon me?
Pretty good. Then you're sweet, but out of it.
Do you have a family? Does your mother know where you are?
No, but she's always looking for me. She keeps putting ads in the personal columns in the newspaper. You want to see some?
Don Rickles did a final
what's you want to call
tour
your
in
mother?
1982.
She must be worried
Yeah.
about
No,
And
I don't want to
he,
do that.
for no reason,
But I know what I'd like
out
to
of
do.
1,400 people, they brought me up on
Stay here with
stage
you.
to do a bit.
Huh?
And I was up there
Yeah,
for
we
10
can
minutes.
pogo.
Okay, hold on, sidebar. All these stories feature that number, 1,400. You know that, right? That's suspicious.
Really?
Yeah. Out of
Zach
1,400
stories?
people, yeah, okay.
Anyway, that's not true. But
So-
he hugged me at the end, and he smelled so good. It was like the best
The
smelling
cologne?
human. It was like Bay Rum.
Oh, Bay
He
Rum.
just sweats that.
Come on, Mom, don't
Yeah.
do that.
He smelled great.
But there's one thing I'm really sorry about that you and I
And then he
never
called
did
me
get to
a
pogo.
fag.
Oh, no.
Oh, did he?
He hugged
That was
me
part
and
of the
then-
shtick?
Yeah, he hugged me and then pushed me away. I said,
Everybody's
that
doing
fag
it.
grabbed
It's
my
really
ass.
easy.
He's-
You
and
know when
when-
you go
what
swimming
year
and
is
you get
this
water in
event?
your ear and you
That
jump
was
up and down and
2010.
shake it out.
Okay.
That's all there is to
So,
it.
but Rickles is the only one who can still get away with
That's
Yes.
more like somebody who
Is
has
it okay that I
water
said
on
that
the
on the
brain.
show?
Oh, yeah, you're quoting Don Rickles.
I just
Yeah.
missed what happened, but...
You're watching
insulting.
Don Rickles be a punk. He's widely regarded as the godfather of punk, isn't he? Right.
What are some of the punk tropes that we saw there, and how accurate were they?
I mean, to the letter.
Yeah.
Sam,
That was
did
my
they-
experience in
Sam,
78.
were any of your the Born Against fans? Did they wear razor blades dangling from their ears? Or
There must have been, there was a period where people were showing up at shows in the Midwest in what appeared to be like Halloween store costumes, like very clearly wigs and stuff. And the kids, what was that band, Old Skull, where they were all
yeah.
children? Yeah, I remember him kind of having that look and doing it well.
Old Skull, if you've heard of them,
I don't know them.
It was an 8-year-old singer and 2 10-year-olds, a guitarist and drummer.
Yeah.
And their songs were seriously, the lyrics were like, homeless, homeless, I hate you, Ronald Reagan. Like, that was really...
Wow.
There was like the whiff of child abuse about it. There was a little bit of like, do I call CPS?
Like Svengali manager or
or
something?
is this
Yeah.
just fine?
The dad of 2 of the kids was in the band Live Skull, which were like a bar rock punk band. And then
Okay.
he orchestrated this thing with his children where he would get all the income, obviously.
Well, it's interesting because, like, in 1978, if you are a kid from the Midwest and you're learning about punk rock for the first time, what you know of it is probably only through the music, but then also depictions in shows like CPO Sharky.
That was my thing for years.
Yeah.
I was Saturday Night Live, Fear,
Right.
and then in Repo Man.
Right.
And neither of those are accurate depictions of what this all is.
Right.
And,
But then life imitates art, and people started to do that.
I was told that in California, all right, you can shed some light on this, that there were in fact mosh pits without a show that were outdoors in places like parking lots, as is in Repo Man. Is that true?
Where they would just play music? And
They would just
all
play
just-
music and then just do that.
Like that scene in Another State of Mind where the guy teaches you how to mosh, but he's by himself listening to a tape in a room.
I feel like there would also be like a garbage can on fire in that parking lot, maybe. I mean,
And then the slowest person gets put in the garbage can.
Yeah, right.
Process elimination.
Well, let's move on to, we're going chronological. This is a 1982 episode of Chips.
Oh, it's so good.
And they had a battle of the bands, and there's a punk group steals a guitar from a new wave group, so there's a bit of infighting amongst the battle of the bands. And then, Ponch and John are drawn into this. So.
California Highway Patrol, they also did guitar theft.
Right, yeah, that was part of their jurisdiction.
Right.
So let's watch a clip from, and I actually like the songs from this Chips episode.
This song is phenomenal, and viewers, if you haven't seen this yet, I envy you.
Oh, you're a punk band.
No way, we're not punk, we're new wave.
Snow Pink.
I didn't know there was a difference.
Come on, there's a whole different attitude to the music, man. Punkers are into an angry thing. New wave, hey, we're just having fun with it.
Yeah, the slam is a
Stepmom,
dance the
getting
punks
wild.
invented because they got bored doing the pogo.
What's the pogo?
Well, the pogo is how new wave kids dance. It's fun.
I think this guy had a child who's attractive somehow and is
Really?
also an actor.
Did he also date a prostitute friend of yours?
Anyway, the
or-
punks
Okay.
took the pogo step.
This
Went
part's
wild.
amazing though. He really goes for it.
But the more people you
There's also a great metal episode of Chips with Donnie Most from Happy Days.
Yeah.
Playing Moloch.
He plays a
That's
metal
the idea.
guy?
A satanic
Band-Aids
metal
and
guy.
bloody noses are punk status symbols.
There we go.
This is one of the best parts of this incredible episode is that they preview this great song.
Before you can hear it electric.
Yeah. And who's this guy?
William Forsythe from Raising Arizona, John Goodman's little brother.
Of course.
Yeah. And then he's in a bunch of real shitty Rob Zombie movies, which is the most redundant thing I've seen today so far.
Is he still acting?
Yeah, he mostly does like Fangoria convention appearances, I think.
Screaming for more.
That old armpit burning gag that you always do to me.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
You guys on the road doing that to each other.
Yeah.
They want this lousy guitar? They can have it.
That's a perfect shot. I do respect that they actually made these guys do it.
Right, they're playing.
Any other show would have had this piped in.
Pre-made, yeah.
Forget it, man. We don't have a prayer to win this thing.
Doesn't matter, right?
Because nobody's gonna win. Trasher, they're gonna hate us. Good! Let him go savage.
We'll work them up to the max, and then we'll trash the whole place.
Yeah, real damage.
Work them up to the max.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
I think that phrase came out of this show. I like these things where they inadvertently show things that are realistic, like them not being incredible in their practice.
Right.
Although this is a pretty good rendition.
He's got some range. There's a little bit of Lee Ving going on in this.
Yeah. The audience also, there's like a lot of genuine punk extras. There was a woman in LA, Janet Cunningham, and her entire role as an LA casting agent was only to put punks on television.
in the 80s?
Yeah, she started in 80. And
Did
she
you talk with her for your book?
Yeah, she passed away recently, or like 3 years ago. She's amazing.
So she was the conduit to that scene for Square Hollywood.
She was 80% punks, 20% bikers.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was all she did, and you would go to her. And that's where like all of these shows booked through Janet.
Wow. I would imagine someone like that. I picture them on their deathbed, just like, I did good. Die.
No, she was great, and she kept records of everyone and everything, all their little like tryout things. And she let me go through her whole collection.
I want to talk about that in a second after this. No.
My squirrel flow is built up, man. I don't care.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Oh, it's later.
Okay, man.
Back off. Back off!
Eric. Back off.
Oh, see,
The
there
perfect
he
plan.
I forgot about the face paint. Of
Yeah.
course. He's doing the.
I'm so glad you put this in.
This is George Edwards.
Good job.
Now this is real music.
This is real punk.
That's
This is
what
punk music.
So, talking about the casting part, I was a segment producer at the Letterman show for about 5 years, and part of my job there was to find old embarrassing footage of the guests on the show to, talk about. And I had read that Courtney Love was in an episode, a legendary episode of Quincy MD, the Jack Klugman show, playing a punk extra. And I wish I would have known your friend because I could have called to verify this. This was like early internet days, so I didn't really have any resources to check other than to get the episode. So I called up Universal Television, and they sent me this time-coded tape, VHS tape of Quincy, oh, did I say MD? ME, Medical Examiner.
Right.
There's the Quincy tape they sent me.
Life doesn't work like that, though, that you call them and they're like, oh, we'd like to oblige you. Here
Well,
you go. So what's
For Letterman.
Yeah, at the Letterman show, they were like,
Oh, okay. Got it.
If we found her in this, I would give them time codes and then pay them a lot of money for the show to screen that. So this what you're going to see here has time code on it. I cut together some highlights from this episode of Next Stop Nowhere, and it turns out Courtney Love, I've scanned, zoomed in, enhanced, all the things you can do, and she's not in it. And then when I met her, when she came on the show, she's like, no, that's an urban legend. I wasn't in it. So apparently she was not cast from
That's borderline rude. Just encourage,
lie.
She should have. I mean, keep up the. I mean, it's a great urban legend to have about you that you're in the Quincy Punk episode.
Yeah.
Don't you want to have one good thing to your name?
Yeah, but this is called the fake band here is called Mayhem, but it was made up of guys from real bands.
And how many real Mayhems have there been? Obviously, there's New York Mayhem that I don't know ever released a record.
Mayhem NYC had a 7-inch.
Okay.
And then there was, of course, the black metal Mayhem.
Yes.
They take all the spotlight.
Yeah.
Because
Well, the original Mayhem though is on this episode of Quincy ME. And their hit song is called Next Stop Nowhere too. So
Punk rock contributed to teens' death.
she probably cast these people.
Oh, she definitely would. Yeah, this is like right when she was riding high.
Zack, I loved him. You stabbed.
That's Mrs. Agmonic from Elf.
Oh, you're right.
Six societies.
Sampled on 150 songs.
Music.
You're not really saying that music can kill, are you?
The music I heard said that life was cheap and that murder and suicide was okay.
You feel a little bit bad about that, Sam?
So these extras don't look as genuine.
Yeah,
it's all Halloween story.
Yeah, the Halloween story.
Yeah. There's not as much. Like definitely the kids in the Chips episode look like they were actually pulled in. As
I appreciate the vocals.
Yeah, pretty
the
good,
vocals
right?
are really well done, not good.
You can't stand it.
And also their logo is beautiful.
It's not that far off from the New York Mayhem logo.
No, it's not.
Thank you.
There's some legit punks, I think, in here. Maybe I was wrong, but not the Cheeto skin guy.
in connection with a murder that happened right here in
Quiet, everybody. An old man's talking.
Now, all the charges against her have been dropped. She's innocent. If she comes back, nothing will be done to her.
Why should we believe you?
If I knew who that girl was, I sure as hell wouldn't tell a cop. Because that's all you are, man, is a dog without a uniform.
I don't care what kind of names you call me. I'm only interested in helping Abby.
This is right out of it, John.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Larry, Daryl, and Daryl?
Yeah.
The Daryls.
That's amazing.
Look, we have
Probably
reason to
not a
believe
genuine punk either.
that she's with Zack's real
Or maybe that was
murderer,
Courtney
Molly
Love.
Howard,
Oh, I didn't put two and two together.
So please,
That
if you
was
have any
her.
information.
That's a crock, mister. You think we're all zombie killers.
You're the killers. Your whole sick society. That's who's guilty, man. We're just your lousy scapegoat.
Besides, man,
That guy won 7 Emmys.
who the hell cares?
Oh,
I think
I get shivers when I see
Hey,
that.
and that guy's in Joysticks. He's one of the two brothers in
well,
Joysticks.
we're going to
It
watch
steals
that
names.
next. So.
Man, he bombed.
Yeah.
It's a tough set.
They listened to him, but not
Hard
respectfully.
room.
Yeah.
So shortly after Quincy was canceled, Jack Klugman opened a series, I think 3 locations of a exotic popcorn shop in New York, here in New York.
Really?
And it was called Jack's Popcorn Crib with a K.
Oh, with a K.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Okay.
very progressive.
Yeah, this is like an 85, 86 that he did.
Did you
that.
ever try any of the popcorn? Or?
No, it was adults only.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. No, it was. I never did because they went out of business so quickly. I didn't live in New York.
Yeah.
But they advertised in the back of a self-published comic book that I liked a lot called New York City Outlaws.
And they advertised Jack Klugman's exotic popcorn?
Yeah, there's a superhero version drawing of Jack Klugman holding a tub of popcorn.
That's actually pretty great.
It is.
I love that.
Did you say exotic or erotic?
Exotic, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Times Square, I mean.
No, they just had all these different flavors. It
I was
like,
trying to figure that out.
Like, a Maui Punch popcorn. It was like they're trying to go global.
So, having watched some of these, there's a club in, was it the Chips episode called The Pit?
Yeah.
Let's just name off, I mean, I'll give you some time to think about it, but let's just name off some fictional punk clubs that we can think of.
My favorite's Incinerator from Never Too Young to Die, where it's
Incinerator?
You ever see that movie?
No.
Gene Simmons is a hermaphrodite crime lord who's going to poison Los Angeles with nuclear waste, and is an army of punks, and performs nightly, does like this kind of feather boa type musical performance show at this punk biker club called the Incinerator, where the entire staff are murderous transvestites.
And this is based on a true story, or?
Yeah, it's a doc.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
This is why I'm not talking so much, because I can't with that.
But just if you had to come up with a fictional 80s...
make your own up.
Yeah, make your own up.
Oh,
What would
okay.
you, Sam, if you...
I have lists on my phone, and I'm not going to remember any. I keep lists of things. I've got endless lists of band names, a decent list of club names, but...
I'm going to just say the Slime Pit.
Slime Pit's great.
I'm just going to...
How many places have been called Clubfoot over the years?
Oh, yeah.
San Francisco had the big one.
I actually, a friend was opening a club in Virginia, and I was like, oh, Clubfoot. And then years later, I was like, that's a really embarrassing moment in my life, because that had already happened.
All right, well, if you think of any fictional 80s punk clubs that would be in a TV show, we can intersperse them throughout.
Over the course of the day, if I think of it, I'll yell it out no matter where I am.
Okay, George, you got one?
Yeah, Jack Klugman's exotic popcorn.
That's good. Yeah.
Jack's Popcorn Crib should have had punk shows.
Yeah, they
Right?
should have.
He's clearly a fan.
It's still be in business.
If he had done that,
had punk shows at his
everything
popcorn
would
shop.
be different.
He would be legendary.
Everything would have changed.
There was never a punk venue in any movie or TV show I've seen. It was just called The Sewer, which really seems like that.
So obvious.
That would have been what you called it, right?
And we should say that when you were researching your book, this was pre-internet, so you just physically had to track down and watch everything, right?
We didn't do TV shows. We stuck to movies because of the impossibility of watching every episode of every show. But we watched 20,000 movies over the course of 7 years, and it was all VHS DVD only.
Wow. That's why the book is $500 right now on Amazon.
Yeah.
I remember a story about you or Brian driving somewhere, seeing a guy with a mohawk and reaching into the air to hit pause, and then be like, oh, this is life.
Yeah, we'd spent so much time looking for mohawks and spikes. Brian and I were together, and we saw a punk on a bus, and we went, oh, and tried to pause
Capture
reality.
him, yeah.
So we could,
So
that's the equivalent of looking at the
Yeah.
newspaper and trying to with the photo, which I do
expand it
on
with
a
your
daily
finger.
basis.
I'm on my way to the sewer, man. Otherwise, I'd stop and chat.
Yeah.
All right,
that
let's
really
talk about Joysticks, because this is a movie. I ended up hosting a live screening of this at the Alamo several years ago, and we had Graydon Clark, the director, on the phone, and he chatted more about it. And it was a movie that, the poster kind of sells it. It's two girls in swimsuits using a joystick, playing a video game, and it's a whole movie that takes place in an arcade. And then
Porky's in a video arcade.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have all the 80s archetypes in there. So there's a valley girl, there's a nerd, and of course there's punks.
And token fat guy slob.
Token fat guy slob.
Yeah.
And in this clip, we're going to see the entrance of King Vidiot, the leader of the punks at the arcade. Oh, you got it there, George, right? Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Go ahead. What?
This is my all-time favorite wrong-headed depiction of a punk character in any format in any movie. Number one, and we dedicated our book to him.
Oh, great! All right, well, let's watch this. I want to hear more about why it's your number one. My Sharona sound alike?
That's what punks like.
Yeah.
With a neck.
Yep.
So this is John Grise, who became famous through other roles, like he was in Real Genius.
Yeah, Laszlo in Real Genius.
He was in Lost, and he was Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite.
Right.
Oh, and the amazing OD in TerrorVision.
Oh, yes.
The metal
yeah.
head. So he did the metal equivalent of this character just a couple years later.
Radio.
Music. Arcade!
So You've dealt with him.
Oh,
that's
he came to my wedding.
He did, really?
Yes,
Of course.
Not as King
Why
David,
wouldn't
no.
he?
So this guy who played McDorfus is now a professional Santa Claus in parades.
McDorfus.
And he makes enough money every December as a Santa Claus to just live
Really?
the next 11 months.
That's a lie.
I assume real beard.
Yeah, he grew a real beard.
Here they're doing the Pac-Man.
Yep. Also, John had recently become single. He got dumped by his girlfriend before shooting, and he couldn't get a single one of the Vidiots to date him.
Really? Even though he was King Diddy?
Yeah, he said, I was their king, and he wouldn't even go out to coffee with me. He was very lonely.
It's a shame.
Over the course of this.
That's why I ended up in the steam tunnels.
That's John Deal on the left with the baseball cap. He's an award-winning actor.
Yes. Jodan Baker, of course.
But John Deal had just done the movie Angel, where he had this incredible performance as a psychopath, and then he's in this zany boner comedy. Torturing McDorfus. It's that behavior that makes this movie.
They're taking the Valley Girl and...
I'll save you, Patsy.
Jodan Baker's daughter is Patsy the Valley Girl.
Right.
He doesn't want her.
Corinne Bohrer, one of the great 80s actresses for like comedy stuff. She was in Surf 2, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Get up from there, Patsy!
And there's the dude from Chips.
Or from Quincy, Daryl.
all that. Get up, you're going home.
If I may.
Yeah, go for it.
There's this incredible moment in Joysticks that really sums up the King Vidiot character to me, which is he's walking out of the arcade. Jodan Baker approaches him and he goes, "Excuse me, young man, may I yell for a moment?"
Yes.
And he just turns to him and he goes, "Yeah, what do you want?" Like that for no reason. He just shrieks in his face. And I guess it like scared the shit out of Jodan Baker because it wasn't in the direction.
In the stage directions?
Yeah. And it's just like so perfect. He's like his rage and spastic.
And you see Jodan Baker's real reaction to that?
He's just like, he like jumps back. It happens several times throughout the movie where he scares the other actors.
Sam, have you seen Joysticks before?
This is a weird thing. I knew how much it meant to him, so I'd saved some time, and I've watched it, but in watching it again, I don't remember watching it. I don't remember what happens after that scene, and some of it's the osmosis thing, like, well, of course the nerd's going to slip. Do I know that because I've seen the movie or just because nerds slip?
That's what happens in a movie.
Because nerds are klutzes.
Right, yeah. We all know that. And the Valley Girl, and then, were there bikers in that too? Probably not. But,
no, there's no bikers, but there's a lot of, I mean, there's just all the caricatures of angry suburban parents.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of that stuff. It's like, it's a class war sort of thing, but it's not the punks versus the parents. It's actually the clean-cut arcade proprietor versus the parents.
Right, he's the bad he's the center of the bad influence, right?
Was this before or after Valley Girl came out?
83, I'm not sure.
Same.
Yeah, same year, so yeah.
We just went to, my wife and I went to the Americana, which is across the street from the Galleria, the Valley Girl Mall, as memorialized in the song Valley Girl. And I said, should we go over there because of the song?
No, couldn't sell it to her that way?
It's a gross little mall.
This next one I want to show is one of the more famous depictions, and it is like one of the more mainstream ones too. It's from Star Trek 4, the movie. You familiar with this one? The bus scene?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We interviewed him for our book.
Who?
The Punk.
Oh, the Punk. Okay.
Yeah.
Another good song. He recorded the song. Correct?
Right. That's a great. Yeah. You should talk about that.
Yeah. Let's watch it and then we'll talk about it.
Just where is the future? The things we've done and said. Let's just push the button. We'd be better off dead. 'Cause I hate you. And I berate you. Excuse me. I can't wait to get to you. The sins of all our fathers being dumped on us the sun. The only choice we're given is how many megatons. Excuse me. And I mind stopping that damn noise? And
how would Kirk know? For all he knew, people just listen to the radio 3 centuries in the past.
Which is what I want to do to everyone that watches videos on their cell phones in restaurants.
Or on airplanes?
Yes, it's the end of the world. Every day.
Was that a crash sticker on the box?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Oh, we'll rewind. Upside down cross earrings. All right, talk about it was the associate producer, right, who wrote the song for this, or what?
It was him.
Right, that's what I mean. Yeah,
he was on the production crew, and he looked like that. Like they didn't have to do much.
Oh, that was just his
hair.
look.
Yeah, this guy Kirk Thatcher, And he's done a lot of work. He's really prolific as a creative person in LA, and now he runs the Jim Henson studio.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But he said no matter what he does, that his tombstone is going to say "Punk on Bus" in Star Trek 4.
Like, well, that's not a bad epitaph.
No.
Also notice the big change in sensibilities between mid-'60s and mid-'80s. In the mid-'80s, Spock wears a headband. I don't know if you remember in the mid-'60s, they go back to, the Great Depression, and Spock's line is I think they say Chinaman, don't they?
Yes.
Like, just say I'm a Chinaman.
With the ears and everything, like no problem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
and
he directed this.
Yep, and so that we've seen some from 1978 TV punks, and now we're kind of at 1986, I think this is. Was there an evolution of the way punks were depicted on TV and movies? Like, did you notice the change, or was it all just generic, without any understanding of the music? We'll put that on screen.
It never got smarter or more well-informed or more accurate,
right?
Ever. It never did.
Except for the big exception of Repo Man.
Right.
Which we were talking about last night, how when I saw that in a theater, I remember, even though I hadn't gone to shows, knowing enough that I was shocked that they had a depiction of punks making fun of themselves in a way that seemed accurate, and that we hadn't seen that anywhere else. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah. But as far as a studio, or definitely TV, studio stuff, there wasn't that. There was nobody flying the plane, nobody that had the insight into what it actually was. Like, there wasn't even an
no motive for
right.
that.
And why would they? Yeah, they
like,
want to have a caricature for their scene with Spock at Kirk on a bus.
Right.
All right, this one is maybe the most legendary. Well, maybe not, but it's the latest example we have. It's 1987 after-school special from ABC. Probably the squarest people depicting punks that we're going to see. It's called "The Day My Kid Went Punk," and high schooler overnight decides he wants to become punk, and this horrifies the family, of course. And
he's a violinist, right?
Yeah, I think he's a violinist, and then he decides he wants to go punk. And the mom is a sociologist who gives seminars on something called the punk syndrome. There's a longer clip, but we can sort of.
It's ironic that her own kid turned out punk.
I know. Can you imagine? So this is the day my kid. Imagine you're after school, you got your Hot Pocket and a Boku, and you turn on
what is a
the day my
Boku?
kid. It's a drink box with white grape juice and raspberry.
Okay.
That,
I would have guessed it was like an edible candy robe or something.
No. Yeah, I grew up on
Those are good,
Boku
though.
and
Okay.
Hot Pockets. So, all right, let's watch it. The pepperoni.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, I was wondering if you wanted to go have dinner with us tonight.
Thanks. I'm busy.
What's that guy's name? Jay?
Isn't that Lisa
something?
Kirk?
The actor?
Yeah.
Why is she going out with that
He was in The Invisible Kid.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't know, I think he looks kind of cool.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about getting my ear pierced.
Over my dead body.
So he went and purchased one of those full punk kits in a suitcase.
Includes like the heroin and everything.
Colored contacts?
Yeah, that's what punks want. I pierced my ear in the school bathroom at age 14 to get a goth girl to go on a date with me.
Is that true?
Yes.
Did it work?
Yes. She was 4 years my senior and a senior.
That's probably the
Why
main
are you
reason
doing
people
this?
went punk if they weren't in a band.
It's cool, Dad. You
He
know,
looks
it works
way
for me.
better this way.
Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't work for me.
It doesn't have to, Mom. All you care about is what other people think. You don't care about me. You never did.
What? Hold it, son. You know that's not true.
I think we'll have close to 300 people from all over the world.
Well, it sounds like your seminar's a sellout, and you've certainly been getting a lot of press coverage with your topic. Do you have any children?
No. I mean, yes, 3.
Right?
3.
Yeah,
Hey,
he
Mom.
does. Got jowls? Huh? Double check.
Did you see the expression on the reporter's face when you said,
I just want Jack
"Hi,
Klugman
Mom"?
to come in and give a
Don't you Louise
patronizing
me
speech
unless you
in
can
all
tell
of
me
these.
how to explain to 300 psychiatrists
You don't care
and
about
psychologists
life.
why our
He was at
son
the
is
popcorn
running around
fair by
looking
this
like a
time.
freak.
Yeah.
While I'm giving a seminar on the punk syndrome and how parents can avoid
She
it.
got Fringe. That's kind of punk
You
rock,
didn't
right?
think
kidding.
about
She borrowed some
anyone
of
but
his clothes.
yourself.
No, I didn't think it mattered much what I did. I mean, you guys never paid much attention to me anyway.
Yeah, of course.
The director, Fern Field, writer-director, she was a major TV producer, but she wanted to tell the story. She was really driven. I mean, I screened this movie in Los Angeles, and she came out and was very excited to share this with genuine,
wow, this is like
enthusiasm.
Within the last 5-6 years.
This is like 8 years ago.
Okay.
When your own son looks like this.
Hey, Mom.
Oh no, my career is ruined. But yeah, the director was like, really, she said, I want everyone to be treated equally, and it was really about inclusivity. And she like had this
very progressive.
It was. I want that poster.
Oh yeah, you got to recreate that.
If I could have one TV prop, it would be that poster. Framed in the
My
day.
dad would have been a lot happier if I would have been a junkie. At least he could have hid that from the neighbors.
Why choose?
That's all they care about. Appearances.
We got the green punk, we got the red punk. All types.
Hardly the same thing, young man. We preached love and peace. Well, you all stand for cruelty and violence.
Oh, here they're in a room full
maybe
of
some
Jack
punkers are
Klugmans.
violent. So are some bankers and truck drivers.
I had originally hoped to show parents
And
how to
women.
keep their kids from turning punk.
Also,
What I
not punk
learned
on that poster.
Is that
No,
it's
it's
more
hair
important to
metal.
find
Yeah.
out why they're doing it.
I just wanted to show you a photograph of my son, Matthew, when he was 19. That's about 3 years ago.
Oh, dear.
Well, here's the same young man. He's now 22 and a banker. Oh, that's wonderful.
Congratulations.
Sold out, Matthew.
You should be eating it with a
I
knife,
don't think I can
shouldn't
hold
you?
my food down if I have to look at that every morning.
That's enough now.
No, really, Dad. Hey, it's okay. I mean,
So
before
the
nobody
doctor
even
from
knew I
the
was at
Love
the
Boat is
breakfast
kind of
table.
on his side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the first in the family
You said I
to
could play
support.
first violin this year.
Not in this getup.
Well, why not?
He was a music teacher on
it's an
Fame as
interesting
well,
look.
so that's all this guy did.
Oh yeah, he just
That
played
looks
music
like
teacher.
Ryan Connolly older.
You know, you're not the first person to make
Don't
that
look so
observation.
glum, my friend. The
That's
choice
the
is
other
up to
writer of the
you.
book.
If you
Yeah.
choose to come back, all it will take is a bar of soap for your face and a half a haircut.
He seems like an actual music teacher, not an actor.
Yeah.
Just in that clip.
So now he's only 40%
I've done a lot of
punk.
thinking.
Right.
And I'm gonna stick to playing rock.
Hooray!
Hey.
Try to get used to it.
That girl's something that fell off
And
with
I'll
too
make
many
it a little
others.
easier too. I've decided to cut out the makeup. I don't need it.
Good. Then maybe you'll realize that your natural hair color is more attractive, and a regular haircut would be much better.
Dad, don't push your luck.
Have either of you
Several days,
seen the show
Yeah.
on Netflix? It's a current show, Glow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the depiction of punk in that is weird, but they do something else so beautifully accurately, which is showing the bad fashions of the 80s. You don't see that much, that there's
Right.
people pick the neons and like the slick cool, they're all these cool guy looks, but really everyone looked like garbage in
Oh,
the
yeah.
80s. It was just nasty, and the weird hair, like I don't even know the hair things and the weird
I can never tell how
shawls
old
and
women
stuff.
are in 80s movies because they always look like they're like 35, 40 when they're probably in their 20s just
Right.
because of the hair and the shoulder pads.
Everyone
and everything.
had, that was
Yeah.
like the little basement of the new conservatism stuff. Then was just the like weird, ugly, like what they thought would be futuristic fashions. And I haven't seen them do that anywhere else. Have you? Where they show 80s clothes
That
that
weren't
were
fashionable.
that weren't
right.
fashionable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not really. It's always you always look through rose-colored glasses.
Right.
But we actually have a Glow VHS tape where there's the punk rock characters
The
too.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any glaring
Chainsaw?
omissions? Yeah, Chainsaw that we didn't
Yeah.
cover here. Like you mentioned a few of them, but like if somebody wants to go through and get an education on more punk rock as in movies and shows, where do they start?
Oh, what is it? Well,
You're the
Repo Man is
Oh,
a big
yeah,
one, 'cause
Repo
that's
Man,
but it's
yeah.
such an
genuine.
outlier that
Right.
it,
Right.
yeah.
But it's great as a contrast to like the completely
That's sort of the
inaccurate
gold
stuff.
standard, and the
Yeah.
movie sort of felt punk rock too, and
Mhm.
the food labels, and I mean it just kind of had that.
Yeah.
The whole movie had that attitude.
It would have been
wasn't just set
still an
dressing.
incredible movie without this other weird channel to it that
Right.
you only know if you know.
And then if you want to go in that direction of stuff that is less comedic or less cartoony,
Yeah.
there's the movie Suburbia from '83, not the Parker Posey one from
Right.
the '90s, but it's that was a movie where you had like a Hollywood filmmaker. She'd done documentaries, but also like been a producer for like Albert Brooks comedies and stuff, and she
Yeah.
wanted to make
I
a
didn't
movie.
know that.
Yeah, that she wanted to make a movie about homeless punk kids, and she was trying to get actors to portray homeless punk kids, and she's like, oh wait, let's just get actual homeless punk kids to play these characters. And so that movie is like so much more genuine than you'd ever expect it to be, and it's my favorite movie of all time. It's my #1 favorite movie.
Wow. Okay, so we start there. End at Repo Man, and then everything else in between is Quincy and
it's like
Chips.
Rubber Chicken versions of
and King Video. Joysticks is worth watching too if you could track that one down.
Apparently, I need to watch Joysticks again.
Yeah.
You'll forget it.
I know Graydon Clark is selling them on his website, DVDs of it, because it's never been. I don't think there's an official like Blu-ray release of
There
that
was
one.
for
Was there?
short-lived, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What should we talk about? You are in town to promote. You're doing a Repo Man screening, but you've got a book out.
I have a book out. Yeah, it's a book about punk and hardcore. A little bit of memoir, a little bit of essays. It's a hoot.
It's a hoot.
What else am I saying?
It's a hoot. Okay, great. And Zach?
Well, we finished our book a long time ago, and it went out of print real fast.
Yeah.
But we are doing a new edition, and we have 743 more movies we found.
And the last time I talked to him, he had a
new
count.
edition?
His count was 28. I remember that. You're like, we got
Yeah.
28. We only missed 28. So I'm
Right.
a little shocked at whatever it is that happened here.
Brian watched a lot of pornography, and there's a lot of punks in that. But that's not even the bulk of it. What was really cool was a lot of people who read the book would say, like, oh, I grew up in the Himalayas, and there was like a TV movie that had punks in it. I'm going to send you a DVD.
People came out of the woodwork.
They did.
You essentially accidentally crowdsourced your job to other people.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a little lazy.
Yeah, it's terrible. I have no integrity.
Yeah. And Fantastic Fest is still happening.
Yeah.
And
I produced Fantastic Fest in Austin, which is a giant film festival of lowbrow entertainment.
It's great. So come on down for that. When is that, by the way?
September.
September. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Going through some punk depictions with us, and come back. We'll get into. We'll talk metal next time.
Okay, we'll be back tomorrow.
Okay. Sam and Zach. That was a pretty good survey of punk rock as depicted in movies and TV, but there's even more that we couldn't get to. And George has a segment that he's going to. Oh, first of all, though, I want to do this contest we mentioned up front to give away a copy.
I'm going to pretend like I've seen this interview. I have not seen this interview yet.
You'll
I'm
see
going to pretend like I've seen it.
I'm not really going to reference anything apart from the fact that we talked about names for fictional. Like what a writer of an episode of Quincy would say the club is that he has to go to to see the band Mayhem, the punk band.
Okay.
So, we talked about the sewer, I suggested the slime pit, but viewers, I put it to you, what is a suggested name for a fake punk club in a TV show?
Are they going to win anything, or do they?
I said, they're winning a copy of Sam's new book.
Oh, they win Sam's new book.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to send that to the winning entry. Okay. Do you have any ideas for
the Goblin's Cavern.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah. The Club Rash.
Yeah.
I'll say Rash. Yeah. George, any ideas?
The Rat's Nest.
Oh, that Rat's Nest is
the
good.
Urinal.
The Urinal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a real one.
How about the Scream?
Oh yeah. That's pretty good. That would be like where the kids from Different Strokes might have gone into, and all right, but we'll put it to you. Make suggestions, and George, though, let's go to your
Bed
segment.
of Nails.
Ooh, these are great.
So I found all through the episode, I found punks depicted on TV in varying. They were almost always guys, and they were almost always. They pretty much had the same personality. But I found an episode of Bosom Buddies, in which a female punk is depicted, and I think
that's pretty rare.
Pretty. I think she is depicted
ahead of their time
fairly well.
Okay.
And let's watch. Bosom Buddies.
Oh,
right?
Peter Scolari. Yeah, there's the whole gang. Love that.
Ah, you were expecting a Mademoiselle Cecily Dunbar?
Yes, I was. Is she here? Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, that makes one of us.
Henry?
Cecily? I got you a corsage.
It's nice. Why don't you pin it to my cheek?
check, please.
You changed your hair.
Yeah.
It's a lot purpler than it was.
Yeah. I got tired of it being green.
Won't you join us?
These are my friends, Sonny and Kip, Cecily.
It's very nice meeting you, Cecily.
You're only saying that because you don't want me to spit on your food.
If that's a good enough reason for me. Well, I don't mean to pry, but Cecily, what happened?
Cecily's dead. I've changed my name now. I'm Andrea Puss.
Are you any relation to the Philadelphia Pusses?
Yeah, you're gonna give it to him? Yeah. Oh, by the way, our punk rock band is called Acute Infectious Diarrhea, or currently.
Oh, that's a good one.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I thought of another one for the punk club, Scab Factory.
Ooh, yeah. Scab Factory. Yeah, that's a good
Scab
one.
Factory.
All right. What's up? What else you got?
Pink
Panther
Punk.
Punk.
Nice.
Which contained no punk, but the next album might contain even less. So here's a commercial from 1980.
Oh, that's an early one.
No, your TV set doesn't need fine-tuning. It's Chipmunk Punk, the smash album of the year. Simon, Theodore, and Alvin bring you their fantastic versions of today's top hits. Just listen.
I had this one.
This isn't the usual animation. This is shitty, like, drawn. Look how bad that is. Yeah. It's like bootleg. Yeah.
This is an animation they're coming back and forth.
Chipmunk Punk. Over 1 million copies of this tremendous collection have already been sold. And now we're proud to bring you this unbelievable album through this very special TV offer. Here's more.
I'm not convinced yet. I need more. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Chipmunk Punk, everyone's favorites. Simon, Theodore, and Alvin, the Chipmunks performing today's top hits. This album is a must. Stereo record only $8.98. 8-track or cassette only $9.98. Don't wait. Order this fantastic album today.
To order, call toll-free 1-800-257-1234. In New Jersey, call 1-800-232-6966.
They only called it punk because it rhymed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now, that seems like it would be the commercial with the least punk in it.
Yeah.
However, it's not.
Okay, I'm gonna do a punk rock thing and just like get up and fix myself a
what?
drink.
There are rules here, but
you don't play by the rules. All right, let's see it.
Okay.
Don't worry. By the time you're
I'm just
seated
pouring my
again, there will
drink.
still be another 15 minutes.
I'm being disrespectful, but you know what? Fuck it. I don't give a
Whoa!
shit. I don't give a shit about that punk fuck.
Wow. You're a punk rocker and you don't even care about it.
Yeah, I don't care about punk fuck.
You know what really makes us mad is wasting money on CDs with only 1 or 2 good songs.
Yeah. Tell them about punk.
Yeah, we got this CD called Punk. It's loaded with our favorite tunes, man.
Yeah.
Just listen. This Punk CD has 36 tunes, man, and I'm telling you, they're all great.
Yeah.
He's a metal guy. No.
Punk became new wave, but like...
Yeah.
You also get Huey Lewis in the News.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Classic
that's
punk
not...
rocker.
You can only get this CD by calling this 800 number, man.
Yeah.
This
So
should be
call
called
now.
music.
Yeah. Punk. Yeah. No.
There hasn't been a single Sex Pistols.
No.
Bad Religion. No.
The opposite.
Yeah.
The Germs. No.
You can get all 36 of these
Wow.
great songs on 2
Music.
CDs
Yeah.
for only $26.95.
Songs that are
Or 2
popular
cassette
right now.
tapes for just $21.95.
Here's how to order.
To order Punk, call the number on your screen or send $26.95 for 2 CDs or $21.95 for 2 cassettes. Remember, this special offer is not sold in stores.
No.
Okay, so it's pretty bad. It turns out people on message boards have been trying to hunt down these albums because they just want to see it out in the wild, and there are no copies in existence. Internal documents from, I believe it was Warner Brothers, show that somebody realized the error. They rebranded it as the album 80s Retro and sold it 5 years later. But the album may not have ever been sold, even though the commercial definitely ran.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they're just like, oh, this is in the news. Like Geraldo's doing a story on punk rock.
rockers.
That was from like the early to mid 90s.
Oh, really?
Wow. So that's way after the fact.
Yeah, like the Wild Wild West by the Escape Club was like.
The woman in the clip could have been punk, maybe, because her hair was dyed. Yeah. But the dude was a heavy metal dude.
He had an in-your-face attitude, so sometimes it's hard to tell. Like I mentioned with Zach and Sam, we should do an all-metal episode. We have a lot of like Christian anti-metal stuff. I'd like to see what George wears for that.
Yeah.
That's the main motivation.
I think we should do a special episode for adult contemporary.
Yeah, every music genre.
I mean, we're trapped in this hellhole for life.
I know.
So, like, why don't we just do everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do every music genre.
Yep.
Okay, so we will reveal next week who won the episode, the titling. I don't know what the contest is, but I'll just send you a book, okay? But in the meantime, this weekend we are in Tempe, Arizona for the first time. Never been to Tempe.
That'd be cool.
I think that'll be cool. And then we're in Tucson, one of our favorite shows of the year.
I look forward to this one every single year.
Saturday.
It's my favorite. Tucson is my favorite.
And then we get back, and then 2 days later we're in the UK. So if you are in England at all,
like goddamn whirlwind. I'm
is.
exhausted already.
Yeah. So come see us on tour. Thanks to Zach and Sam for coming. And oh, by the way, I think in a couple of weeks, we're pre-taping some episodes because we're going to be gone on tour. And our episode 100 is coming up. In 2 episodes, we have a very special guest for it.
Do we have it for episode 100?
Yep.
Is going to be a very special guest?
Yep, and I'm very excited about it.
Okay.
We don't want to reveal yet, right? We'll promote it the week before.
Yeah, because it'll require explanation.
Yeah, that's the main reason. All right, so thanks.
The anticlimactic.
I'm going to leave everybody with a song from, you might have to go back on this, from the famous Quincy episode that we thought Courtney Love was in, Next Stop Nowhere. And
is she not in it?
She's not, ultimately. It was an urban legend. But this is the titular song of the episode. It's Next Stop Nowhere.
You say titular?
Yep. And we'll be right back right after that, everybody.
All right, that's it. We tried a little bit better. We could have done better.
No way out of the rain. No shortcuts, baby, no fast lane. Ain't tomorrow, only yesterday's pain. So cut your wrist and watch your life go down the drain. Next stop, nowhere. I wanna get off. Next stop, nowhere. I wanna get off. If I'm sleeping, I don't want to miss my stop.
You're not very good at taking hints, are you, lady?
I'm a glutton for punishment, Mr. Langford. And don't tell me I'm in the wrong place.
No more staring at your ugly face. Ain't no winner.
I'm sorry.
Do you work here?
I'm with the coroner's office.
Sure. I've heard you guys play before. You got a great band.
I want to get off. Wait, if I'm sleeping, I don't want to miss my stop. No way out of the rain.
If anybody knows anything about Jack's death, they're not telling me any more than they told the police. I did find out that Abigail's okay, though. Molly said she came home this afternoon.
Next stop, nowhere. I want to get off. Next stop, nowhere. I want to get off.
Slam that. You go out there and try that, you take your life in your hands.
I have no intention of doing that.
On your case, no more staring at your ugly face. Ain't no winners in this rat race. So good luck and disappear without a trace. Next stop, nowhere. I want to get off. Next stop, nowhere. I want to get off.
When we return, Dr. Sellner will complete the bunion surgery.
Yes, those are his pajamas he's wearing.
All right, I gotta go.
That's all. That's it.
Let me see that one.
We'll be right back right after that.